Have you ever experienced that strange and contradictory feeling? The feeling when a person, or maybe a moment, keeps creeping into your mind. Whether you are busy with work, immersed in joy, or simply trying to relax, that figure is still there, like an uninvited, unpaid guest, occupying every corner of your thoughts. It could be an ex-lover, a long-lost friend, or even someone you never really knew. But strangely, they are still there, appearing at the most unexpected times, leaving you confused, even helpless. What makes our minds hold on to those images? Is it just a prank of the subconscious, or deep down, does it carry some important message? A signal from the ego trying to send us? Imagine that feeling is not just a coincidence. According to Alex, one of the thinkers the best in psychology, those obsessive thoughts can be the key to a deeper understanding of ourselves. They are not really about the person or the event, but about what they trigger in you. Forgotten emotions, pains that need to be healed, or sometimes longings that you have never recognized. Let's explore this mystery together. Let's listen to the voice of the soul. Decipher the message that the subconscious is trying to send. Because, who knows, it could be one of the most important truths you will ever be revealed about yourself. And if that feeling is still there, take it as an opportunity to understand yourself better. A profound journey that sometimes begins with the most uncomfortable thoughts. Before you start, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next videos on personal and spiritual growth. And now let's get started. The iceberg of the mind, the journey from consciousness to unconsciousness. Imagine you are standing in front of a vast ocean where the sunlight reflects off the waves, creating a peaceful and familiar scene. But when you bend down and try to look deeper into the water, you realize that what you see is only the surface. Underneath, a completely different world exists. Deep, murky, and full of mystery. The part above the water, where the light shines, represents your consciousness, the land of clear, coherent thoughts. This is where you are aware of yourself, where you feel and understand everyday emotions like joy, sadness, or anxiety. All the rational decisions you make, the thoughts and actions you control, belong to this conscious area. It is like the sun shining on the surface of the ocean, making everything visible. But the surface is only a small part of the whole reality. Under the deep blue waters, where light hardly penetrates, lies the unconscious. The submerged part of the iceberg, much larger and deeper, is where your forgotten memories, unacknowledged desires, hidden fears, and repressed aspects of your personality reside. This is the world of the hidden, what you don't easily recognize, but that has a powerful influence on your life and who you are. When a persistent thought or person pops into your mind, it's not random. Those recurring thoughts are like signals from the submerged part of the iceberg, trying to get your attention. You may not understand why you obsess over them, but it's often not about them, but about you. They may evoke an emotion, a memory, or an aspect of you that you've never encountered. The unconscious, where all secrets lie. Think of your unconscious as a treasure buried in the ocean. It holds things you've forgotten, or willfully forgotten, because they're too painful or uncomfortable to face. They might be childhood fears, desires you're too afraid to express, or memories you'd rather bury. But your unconscious is never truly silent. The iceberg of the mind, the journey from consciousness to unconsciousness. It's always active, always sending signals to the surface, like waves constantly crashing on an iceberg. Imagine you are standing in front of a vast ocean, where the sunlight reflects off the waves, creating a peaceful and familiar scene. But when you bend down and try to look deeper into the water, you realize that what you see is only the surface. Underneath, a completely different world exists. Deep, murky, and full of mystery. The part above the water, where the light shines, represents your consciousness, the land of clear, coherent thoughts. This is where you are aware of yourself, where you feel and understand everyday emotions like joy, sadness, or anxiety. All the rational decisions you make, the thoughts and actions you control, belong to this conscious area. It is like the sun shining on the surface of the ocean, making everything visible. But the surface is only a small part of the whole reality. Under the deep blue waters, where light hardly penetrates, lies the unconscious. The submerged part of the iceberg, much larger and deeper, is where your forgotten memories, unacknowledged desires, hidden fears, and repressed aspects of your personality reside. This is the world of the hidden, what you don't easily recognize, but that has a powerful influence on your life and who you are. When a persistent thought or person pops into your mind, it's not random. Those recurring thoughts are like signals from the submerged part of the iceberg, trying to get your attention. You may not understand why you obsess over them, but it's often not about them, but about you. They may evoke an emotion, a memory, or an aspect of you that you've never encountered. The unconscious, where all secrets lie. Think of your unconscious as a treasure buried in the ocean. It holds things you have forgotten or willfully forgotten because they are too painful or uncomfortable to face. They may be childhood fears, desires you dare not express, or memories you want to bury deep. But the unconscious is never truly silent. It is always active, always sending signals to the surface, like waves constantly crashing on an iceberg. These signals may be dreams, vague, unexplained feelings, or even an obsession with a person. A person you can't stop thinking about may simply be a mirror of a part of yourself you have never looked directly at. They may represent an aspect of you that you crave, or a fear you want to avoid. Journey of self-discovery. Those obsessions, if you know how to look at them, are not constraints but opportunities. They are like an invitation to dig deeper into yourself. To begin this journey, follow these steps. Step 1. Listen to the signals from your mind. Take some time to sit with yourself. When you think about the person or thing that haunts you, ask yourself, what do I feel? What does this remind me of from my past? Let the emotions, whether painful or joyful, come freely. Step 2. Analyze the deeper meaning. Ask, what is this person or thing saying about me? What do they bring up in me that I haven't yet realized? You may realize that the obsession is not about the person, but about you, about a part of your personality or a desire that you have not yet faced. Step 3. Transform obsession into growth. Instead of letting obsession control you, use it as a catalyst for self-understanding. When you recognize what your unconscious is trying to convey, you have the opportunity to heal the pain, release the memories, and grow in your self-perception. Ending the journey. As you gain a better understanding of what lies beneath the surface of your mind, the obsession will gradually fade away. It will no longer be a burden, but a valuable lesson that will help you get closer to your true self. Remember, the unconscious is not an enemy, but a loyal companion, always silently guiding you. As long as you dare to look deep into that ocean, you will discover secrets, hidden strengths that you never thought of. And when that happens, you will realize that the obsession is just an invitation for you to truly live in harmony with yourself. The mirror of your shadow, a journey to confronting the hidden parts of your soul. Imagine your soul as a large room. Half of the room is filled with light where you feel comfortable, safe, and in control. This is the land of consciousness, where you have a clear understanding of yourself, the values you hold dear, and the aspects you are willing to share with the world. But the other side of the room is immersed in darkness, a space that is vague and elusive. This is where the shadow part of your soul resides that you have never dared to face. The shadow is not a simple concept. It is a collection of things you have denied, forgotten, or even not recognized about yourself. It can be fears, negative emotions, or painful memories that you have intentionally suppressed. But at the same time, it is also a treasure trove of untapped potential, hidden abilities, deep desires, and talents you never dared to acknowledge. When others become mirrors of your shadow, have you ever wondered why a certain person keeps popping into your mind? They could be an acquaintance, a coworker, or even a stranger you've only met in passing. What confuses you is that they don't seem particularly important, yet they keep occupying your thoughts. The truth is, that person isn't simply themselves. They are acting as a mirror, helping you see a part of yourself that you've never been aware of. Maybe it's their confidence that you admire, but feel you've never achieved. Or maybe it's their impulsiveness, their arrogance that annoys you because it highlights deep-seated insecurities that you've tried to hide. They are not special because of who they are, but because they represent something inside of you. Like a mirror, they reflect aspects of your shadow that you need to face. Sometimes those traits may be things you long to develop but are afraid of. Sometimes they are pains you have buried but never healed. Shadow, enemy or ally? At first, the idea of a shadow may seem scary. No one wants to face the dark parts of themselves because it can make us feel helpless, ashamed, or even afraid. But the shadow is not an enemy. It is like an old friend, patiently waiting for you to turn around and look at it with understanding and love. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, once said, "No one has ever become wise without looking into the darkness." To truly grow and develop, you need to learn to face your shadow, accept the aspects of yourself that you have rejected, and make them a positive part of your life. The journey of facing your shadow. This journey is not easy, but it is meaningful and life-changing. Here are some steps you can take to get started. Step 1. Recognize the signs of your shadow. Pay attention to the strong emotions you feel about other people, both positive and negative. Who do you admire obsessively? Who makes you feel uncomfortable or angry for no reason? These are signs that your shadow is trying to get your attention. Step 2. Ask deep questions. When you think about that person, ask yourself, what do they bring out in me? What is it about them that makes me feel so strongly? Is it a part of me that I have forgotten or repressed? Step 3. Accept and not judge. Facing your shadow requires you to let go of judgment. Instead of seeing it as something bad, see it as a natural part of who you are. Remember, darkness cannot exist without light. Step 4. Harness the potential of your shadow. As you begin to accept your shadow, you will discover hidden potential. It may be creativity, courage, or a talent you never knew existed. Learn to use it to enrich your life. Step 5. Seek support. If you need it, at times this journey can be overwhelming. Don't hesitate to seek out a trusted counselor or therapist to help you through the difficult times. Connect with your shadow to find wholeness. As you begin to look into the mirror of your shadow, you will see that it reflects more than just your flaws and fears. It also shows you your untapped potential and the opportunity to become the best version of yourself. The person you keep thinking about is not just another person. They are a mirror of your soul, an invitation to you to embark on a journey of deeper discovery. When you learn to face your shadow, you not only find peace, but also open yourself up to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Remember, your shadow is never your enemy. It is an integral part of you, waiting to be accepted and integrated. The journey may be long and challenging, but it is worth it. because you will find your true self more whole, stronger, and deeper than ever before. Anima and animus, the opposing principles within us. Imagine that deep within your mind, where your unconscious operates without you even realizing it, there exists a subtle balance between two opposing yet complementary archetypes. The anima, representing the feminine energy of the male psyche, and the animus, representing the masculine energy of the female psyche. These two principles are not just psychological symbols, but are the deepest, most primal parts of ourselves that strongly influence how we perceive the world, idealize love, and form personal relationships. Psychologist Alex once described the anima and animus as the bridge between the conscious and unconscious, the gateway to self-realization. They are not just separate aspects of existence, but always operate as a harmonious, opposing, challenging, yet guiding flow of energy. When you can't stop thinking about someone, it's likely that they've inadvertently triggered your anima or animus, awakening strong feelings not just toward them, but actually toward yourself. Others as mirrors of the anima and animus. When someone comes into your life and becomes the center of your mind, they are often more than just an individual. They begin to embody something larger than a symbol that your unconscious uses to project you. You may be drawn to someone not because of who they are, but because they seem to embody the ideal qualities that you secretly desire or are trying to discover. In Jungian psychology, this can be explained by the activation of the anima in men or the animus in women. Anima in men. When a woman appears and attracts a man, she is more than just a real person. Instead, she becomes a symbol of tenderness, intuition, emotion, or whatever feminine qualities he lacks, or has not yet fully explored. He is not only attracted to her, but also to the way she reflects what he desires within himself. Feminine animus. Conversely, when a man takes over a woman's mind, he often represents the strong, rational, assertive masculine energies that she has not yet fully developed or balanced within herself. These people do not simply exist in the real world, but they become the embodiment of an unconscious image, an inner ideal that your soul is trying to connect with. Idealized image, the doorway to the inner self. This powerful attraction, often profound and difficult to explain, is not based entirely on reality. Instead, it is fed by a mental image, an idealized image that you have created in your mind. This explains why you may sometimes feel intensely attracted to someone you don't really know, or even know. The qualities you attribute to them as gentle, strong, mysterious, or whatever are sometimes not really theirs, but what you see through the lens of your anima or animus. They are like a mirror, reflecting aspects of yourself that you need to face. A hidden desire that you have never dared to touch. A repressed quality that you feel is not fit to express. A deep fear or insecurity, amplified by their presence. They are not special just because of themselves, but because they have inadvertently become the key that opens the door to your inner self, helping you face yourself. The journey of harmony and growth. The anima and animus are more than just static archetypes. They function as inner teachers, pushing you into a deeper journey of self-discovery. Idealization and intense feelings for another person are not just romantic, but also a reminder that you need to harmonize and develop neglected parts of yourself. When you feel attracted or obsessed with someone, this does not mean you have to cling to them or make them the center of your life. Instead, use these feelings as an opportunity to facing your deepest desires. What do they represent that you crave? Confidence, tenderness, strength, freedom? Explore repressed aspects. What about them makes you uncomfortable or insecure? Do they reflect something inside you? Inner energy balance. Learn to accept and develop both the anima and the animus. rather than denying either one. Becoming the whole self, the harmony between the anima and the animus, is not an easy goal to achieve, but it is the gateway to spiritual wholeness. When you learn to balance these two energies, you not only gain a better understanding of yourself, but you also develop the ability to love, connect, and live a deeper life. Remember, the person you keep thinking about is more than just a person. They are a reminder from your unconscious, an invitation to explore and accept yourself. They are just a mirror. The real journey is still yours. Projection, the mirror of the mind. Projection in Jungian psychology is a powerful psychological phenomenon where our unconscious thoughts, feelings, or characteristics are projected onto others without our conscious awareness. It is like a play in our minds where we use the people around us as screens to project hidden aspects of our psyches. When we see a trait in someone, whether lovable or repulsive, we are essentially looking at ourselves, but through a prism that our unconscious has constructed. Imagine you meet someone who you find irresistible. This attraction is not simply about their appearance or actions. They evoke in you a strong feeling, perhaps admiration, desire, or sometimes a feeling that cannot be explained by reason. Similarly, there are people who make you feel uncomfortable, even hateful, without you knowing why. In both cases, projection is working to bring to the surface parts of yourself that are unacknowledged or undeveloped. Projection in admiration. When you admire someone, for example, for their confidence, intelligence, or courage, you may unconsciously recognize that you also possess these qualities, but they remain hidden, undiscovered, or undeveloped. The person, in this case, becomes a symbol, an ideal that your soul looks up to. Admiration is not just a positive emotion, it is a reminder from the unconscious that you have the potential to become that. But here's the catch: sometimes, admiration can be overly idealized. You may attribute traits or qualities to them that are not really theirs, but rather are your own desires and fantasies. This is where the line between reality and the projected image becomes blurred. It is important to realize that the other person is not the true embodiment of what you are looking for. They are merely a mirror of your inner self. Projection in discomfort. On the other hand, when you feel uncomfortable or irritated by someone's actions or characteristics, it is likely that they are exposing a part of you that you do not want to face. For example, you may feel uncomfortable with someone who is always bragging about their achievements. This may stem from your discomfort with their confidence, as it highlights your own lack of confidence or feelings of not being good enough. This discomfort is not simply a negative reaction. It is an opportunity for you to ask yourself, why am I reacting so strongly? Is there something inside me that I am not willing to acknowledge? These feelings may be very uncomfortable, but it is this discomfort that is the key to understanding yourself more deeply. It is an invitation to confront the hidden, repressed aspects of your inner self. The connection between projection and the personal journey. Alex, the creator of this concept, once said, "Everything that irritates us in others can lead to understanding ourselves." Indeed, projection is not about others, but rather acts as screens on which our unconscious projects hidden content. Yet in our daily lives, we often forget this. We easily blame others for the emotions they evoke in us, instead of looking within to find their source. Projection is not just a psychological mechanism, but also a profound reminder that the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. What we see in others, whether good or bad, are parts of ourselves. Sometimes what we see are aspects that we have repressed, denied, or have not dared to develop. Other times it is potential that we long to tap into, but have not found the way to. How to deal with projection. Recognize strong emotions. Pay attention to your strong reactions to others' admiration, love, hate, or annoyance. These emotions are often signs of projection. Ask yourself, when you have a strong reaction to someone, ask yourself, what does this say about me? Is there an aspect of me that I am ignoring or craving? Accept and integrate. When you recognize the repressed or undeveloped parts of yourself, learn to accept them. This is not easy, but it is an important step toward becoming more whole. Separate reality from projection. Remember that the other person is not the true embodiment of what you feel. They are just a symbol used by your mind to reflect your inner self. Projection as an opportunity for growth. Ultimately, projection is not a negative thing. It is a tool for self-understanding and growth. When you learn to recognize and decipher the images projected onto others, you not only gain a better understanding of yourself, but you also improve the way you interact with the world. Projection is a natural part of the human journey, and instead of fearing or denying it, see it as an invitation to explore and love yourself more deeply. Synchronicity. The secret signs of your subconscious mind. Have you ever thought deeply about someone, and then, a short time later, received a text from them, or bumped into them in a completely unexpected situation? Such moments where time and space seem to align perfectly cross the line of coincidence. This is a phenomenon called synchronicity. Synchronicity is not simply random events. It is more like a whisper from your subconscious, a reminder that something important needs your attention. When a person or an idea repeatedly pops into your mind and then manifests in your reality, it is not just a coincidence, but can be an invitation to you to reflect more deeply. These events are hidden messages, not to make you obsess over that person or situation, but to guide you in your own self-discovery. If a person is constantly on your mind, the question to ask is not, why are they always on my mind? But, what can I learn from this experience? Synchronicity does not bring answers from the outside world, but guides you back inside where your unconscious is trying to communicate and help you grow. People who attract your attention, whether through positive or negative feelings, are often mirrors of your inner self. Through them, you receive opportunities to recognize, understand, and develop untapped parts of yourself. Synchronicity moments can be subtle pieces in your personal evolution, reminding you that everything in life is connected. When you encounter these signs, instead of acting hastily, take the time to observe and listen to the message from your soul. Because perhaps, it is all just a part of you waiting to be recognized and heard. How to break free from obsession and discover hidden messages. Have you ever felt haunted by a person, an idea, or a memory that you just can't explain? Those thoughts keep playing over and over in your mind, like a song that won't stop, leaving you restless. But instead of feeling confused or stuck, see this as an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That's why obsessions are often not just about the person or thing you're thinking about, but what they represent, a message from within you that's longing to be heard. Step 1. Listen to your thoughts. Stop and take a moment to listen to yourself. When you think about the person or thing you're obsessing over, what emotions come up? Is it admiration, longing, or fear? Are you feeling excited, or is there something troubling you? By recognizing your emotions, you begin to understand the psychological picture your subconscious is trying to paint. Step 2. Analyze the meaning. Ask yourself, what does this person or thing represent in my life? They may bring up an aspect of yourself that you have not yet recognized, or reflect a part of your personality that you refuse to face. They may be an image of the courage you crave, or a weakness you are afraid to admit. Step 3. Transform obsession into personal growth. Instead of letting your obsession take over, use it as a motivation for change. What you need to do is not look to others to solve your problems. but to dig deep within and discover yourself. Learn to see yourself, to understand the desires or fears that you have not yet faced. When you realize the message your subconscious is trying to convey, the obsession will either fade away or you will see it in a whole new light. Obsession is not an end, but a gateway to growth. The person or thing you are obsessing over may just be a mirror, reminding you that all the answers are within you. Be brave enough to face what is within you, because that is the path to liberation. Share your experiences and thoughts with us in the comments. Thank you for following us, and see you in the next video.